All right, so here is another business model. It's different from an after school standalone because this program is where you offer before and after school programs. It is normally located within your child care program. And so this works very well for child care programs that have a huge classroom that they don't use for much, but it can be converted day in and day out, or it's for those of you who find different apartment complexes that have a community room and they find it okay to allow you to use their community space for before and after school service. So it really behooves you to truly think about this service and not in the norm, but how to step out the box and do things out of the box. So I'm not sure if you know it or not, but several companies that offer low income or income based housing, they are also required to meet an educational component of the community. And so a lot of programs that we see where you might have after school programs located on the school site or after school programs located within apartment complexes or communities, they're existing because the grant requirement requires that an after school program comes in, or an educational component of the community is there located on site. And so this program could be on your child care program property site, or it could be at a school, or it can be in a community based apartment setting. So a lot of people charge one rate for the same service before school and after school combined together. But this is an a la carte menu. This menu is where you set it up to service children that come during the mornings and service children that come in the afternoon and service children that come to both. And so you can feed children in the morning for before school, or you can feed them for before and after school. It just all depends on what hours you begin that before school service and what hours you begin that after school and in that after school service, because this is a program where you drop children off to their schools and you do what we call a school run. So of course you will need to have your transportation in place. So then the next one is a transportation service. Now this isn't like what we just discussed with having a transportation service to take children to and from school. This is more than that. This is like Uber for children. This is where you are escorting children from site to site. This is where you're escorting children to appointments. This is where you're escorting children to extracurricular activities. This is for children that don't have to be enrolled into your program. They just need transportation because of parents' work day. They can't get the kids to and from different activities, appointments, doctor's appointments. So then this is where you can become like an Uber for children with your transportation services. And it's your same transportation vehicles that you have licensed through your child care program. You have your drivers go through the same licensing concept. And then at that time, you can offer this service and parents can pay a la carte. So they can pay by the trip. They can pay by the weekly contract. And it just all depends on how you want to set that up. They need to pay you in advance, however, and or you can look into different businesses where you can contract with the pediatrician office where you will contract to get the kids to their appointments. You can contact with your local family and children's services where you will drop kids off to their family visits. So it's so many things that you could do in line of this transportation service. Now, is it lucrative? Of course, because you're not just looking at ratio at this point, you're looking at point of service. So you're looking at charging a la carte. So how much would you charge a person to take them to a visit, to pick them up from a visit, things of that nature? And so think of ways to provide child transportation services in your community because it is needed. How do I know it's needed? Because they have it for elderly. I see that they're transporting elderly to the doctor's appointments and things of that nature. And it could be something that your business can offer as well. One-to-one tutoring. This is when you're working with individual clients. This is when you're working one-on-one with students. And this tutoring concept, I have seen programs, I have seen programs um, work the tutoring program within their childcare business. I've seen them working within their after school program, and I've seen people work in the childcare industry just as a tutor. I've seen teachers just offer their tutoring services. They have a site, they have a playground, they have a schedule, they're licensed, they take subsidies, they provide meals, but all the children do when they come in is get tutoring on a particular subject. And so this tutoring on a particular subject, it could be grant funded as well. There's grants out there to help students in the areas of academic achievement. And I'm going to have some documentation provided to you guys below on what you'll need to have in place in order to make sure this tutoring services is ran like a business. But of course, you want to create the system first and then offer the program. And that was something that I think will be very beneficial if you could find you some retired teachers that could help you and be a part of this tutoring program, and then you just bring on individual students. So that means you're reaching out to the schools, you're reaching out to the parents, you're finding ways for this service to be covered through grants to help the children with their learning after school. You can literally be their after school provider and their offer them tutoring services in another location where you can transport them to their tutorer for that hour and a half, pick them back up. Parents can pay you for transportation. There's just so many ways that you can set up an a la carte for this one-on-one student-based business. So this student-based business isn't like where you're trying to get more numbers to reach a capacity to earn income. This is where you're getting paid to work with one student by the hour based on a subject, and that you're guaranteeing parents that they're going to get certain results. Night care services. Now, this is where you charge different rates for your services that you provide. I've seen so many childcare business owners make the error of doing an all-in-one cost. But night care services, it is a program that you want to make sure there's a demand for in your area, because if there's not a demand, you'll only see yourself with like 10 kids at night. But you want to have at least a night care program that carries at least 30 children for it to be worth you having a director on site, and for it to be worth you having teachers on site. And your normal overhead expenses are still going. Your light bill, water bill, phone bill, all of those bills are still being incurred during night care services. So you want to have a program where you can carry at least 30 children to make it profitable, because that night care person that's on staff, they're going to have to oversee when parents pay, when students are picked up. They're going to have to run a full program just like you do in the mornings. You're going to have to run that same full program at night. Now, there are different ways to accomplish in the night care program, and it can be lucrative. So one of the ways that I recommend is to just network with businesses that already offer employees working past 1 a.m. They have employees working past 1 a.m. Make it where you're a business advocate with them, and you have your information available so that parents that need night care services can come and see you. Another program is the Mother's Day Out. This is where you're doing 4 hours or less, and it's drop in and drop in only, you guys. And so I want to talk about two models, because I think I used this to talk about two models. I'm not sure. But if you notice, you have your play space area where children are coming in and they're just playing, and it's a wide open space. So imagine you taking just like maybe one plaza, go to a plaza and you find you a suite in the plaza, and you're converting this plaza to look just like this space. And when children come in, they have their children or age appropriate toy space, and they can play with their mothers for Mother's Day Out. It's age appropriate. It's fun. The moms can come in. You can have people come in and offer different exercise classes, different jamboree classes. And it could be really fun because you're offering mothers a place to bring infants and toddlers and preschoolers who aren't really catered to in the area, because it's not much that people think about to do with younger children. But this is where you're providing 4 hours or less. Parents can you can have a caregiver on site Parents can do the drop off and pay you for 4 hours. They have those 4 hours that they can utilize. Parents can get into a contract with you, and that contract can be utilized where they invest in this service every single week. It just all depends on how you set it up.